Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I do feel compelled to just break out in my auction chant, and because I'm positioned last, so I'm expecting that's what you want me to do, is to get this thing over with. But in any event, I'm going to hold off on that for a while, even though Alice has asked me to do that many times. There's an old saying that, let thy speech be better than silence, or be silent. So we're going to see which way this one goes. As with any endeavor in life, there's those come alongside and support you are inevitable to one's success. So I, too, am going to touch base and thank a few people. Obviously, first and foremost, I want to thank my gracious wife, Miriam, my courageous 19-year-old today daughter, Madison. Happy birthday, Madison, if you ever listen to this. Their unwavering love and support, along with the sacrifices they've made these past 6 years, we all know what families go through, and they don't enroll for that. They didn't sign up for this job, but they certainly endured some stressful times, and even finding themselves in the crosshairs at times. They're strong women, and I admire them and give them all the credit they deserve for their infinite contributions along this pathway. I also want to give a sincere thanks to the rest of my family. And many friends. Especially I want to give a little shout out to the Whites and the Turles and their family. I have like 15 to 18 parades in my district every year, and those two families have never missed one parade in 6 years. Matter of fact, they even went to some that I didn't go to. So thanks to them. Thanks to all my constituents for putting their trust and faith in me and making it possible for me to serve here as the 85th District State Rep for 3 terms. The citizens of my district have always been first and foremost to me, and I leave here with that same respect. I also want to give a thanks to my staff, Mr. Craig Puckett, who's been with me since day one, 6 years. His loyalty and dedication and attention to detail is unsurpassed, and I truly would not be here without him. Although I do want to have to give a little shout out to Kayla, because I think she's taught him some of the things he knows. And she'll understand that, or he will. Also my front desk person, Margaret Graham, for 5 years of service, and her uncanny ability to corral me and fill my schedule with back-to-back meetings and district events, and keep the office running like clockwork for 5 years. And to Jenny Miller, who is willing to come and work for a lame duck legislator in a campaign year for my last year, and my intern, Anita. Truly, it was the best staff I could have wished for, and better than I deserved, and I couldn't have done it without you. I want to thank former Speaker Jace Bolger and the J-Team, Speaker Cotter, our partners in the Senate, Governor Snyder, and your administration for your strong leadership. It's been an honor. I, too, want to thank pretty much everybody that makes this place work, and I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm throwing a blanket, but you know all who you are: staff, writers, the clerks, the sergeants, LSB, Quillen for making us look good, and Alice for keeping us hydrated, and all the Capitol facilities and housekeeping staff, and to Clerks Brown and Randall, you have had a front row seat for so many things here. I cannot wait to read your book someday, because it's got to be coming. So with that, I'm going to just warn you that a lot of you know I haven't done a lot of floor speeches, so you can sit back and relax, because I'm going to use up 6 years worth of my floor speech to try to turn this into a filibuster, so we can just skip lame duck altogether. Speaking of lame duck, I just want to give a little prodding to the future legislators that if we'd worked with half the vigor and pace throughout the years we would doing lame duck, it wouldn't be so lame. So have at it. I think you all know my background as before state representative, as non-political, never ran for a political office, never held a political office. I was an auctioneer. Family business. I was somewhere in the state 5 or 6 days a week, babbling and chanting, and oftentimes not making sense and being up front center stage. So it's not unlike a lot what happens here, frankly. So you would think I would fit in, but I didn't feel the need for some reason to be front and center a lot here, and fortunately there were enough that were willing to take up that slack. So I found it more beneficial to listen, frankly, and to do more listening than talk. And my campaign slogan was a leader who listens. So I feel I've done that. I feel I've learned from it, and it has helped me become informed before I've had an opinion. I've had the privilege of serving in the majority, and obviously the majority has its privileges, but it also means a full workload and a full agenda, especially with this relentless positive action thing going on around here and working in dog years. But with majority also comes responsibility, and I think it should be used wisely. My goal has always been to put what is best for Michigan first in my district, and it's a challenge sometimes because there are some very strong, compelling arguments to both sides of that argument. But I have tried to put it about policy and not politics when I do make my decisions. Even with the challenges of our great state, we addressed and accomplished much. So there's many great things to mention, especially politically, but some of my accomplishments that I hold dear have been the relationships and friendships and memories that we've been made. Some good, some great, some stressful, and a lot of them in between. I happen to remember one. Wasn't going to do this until you called me out, but one enlightening moment that I had when I was just first here, I got a list of people doing doors or CPC or whatever it was, and I said, wow, you had like 60 people signed up. I said, they must really like me around here. And my good friend, Mr. Farrington, was quick to point out, it has nothing to do with liking you. You just is one of the closest districts to Lansing, and they don't want to drive too far. So thank you for bringing me down to reality. I've been blessed with a lot of great seatmates. I've had floor leader Nesbitt, Representative Ajima, McCready, Shepard. All have been very different, and you get to spend a lot of time with them and become friends, and I think you form bonds and friendships that are going to last forever. Got to hear about airplane pilots and dogs and puppies and sprinklers and no-fault reform, and so it was always good. But I do want to point out that setting up there, I sat in number 3 desk between Nesbitt and Ajima. Not sure how that happened, but Representative Ajima was my mentor. The seat in front of me, Suzanne Miller sat, facing the way that seat is facing right now. Usually I think it faces the other way, but Suzanne Miller faced my way all the time. It certainly kind of felt like ground zero oftentimes, and I often wondered why they didn't change that number 3 to 56, because that's what it felt like. Some of you will figure that out. It might take you a minute. But anyway, it did take me a little while to realize that just because you're his mentor didn't mean I had to sign every blueback, because it did look a little bit like Representative Glenn's desk sometimes. And let me tell you, you sign some of those babies, your email lights up. So live and learn. So I will say that it's been, my second term I kind of moved back a little further, but not quite far enough from this corner, because Representative Victory and Representative Battaglia and I were sitting here one day at ease, and my good friend Representative Haynes pulled out, or had a stack of high fashion magazines. We saw the need to step back and open some, and somebody made a comment. Somebody flew over that desk and took a picture. It was within minutes that John Whetstone come and whispered in my ear, do you have any idea what's blowing up on Twitter? And then he proceeded to tell me, and so I went and told Representative Battaglia, and he said, oh, don't worry about it, it'll blow over. I got home that night on my home answering machine, 4 messages from CNN wanting an interview, saying, well, we contacted Representative Battaglia, but he said he wasn't available to call Glardon. That was his version of blowing over. I love the guy. I'm still trying to forgive him for that one, but it was the only time that I got front page color above the fold in my home newspaper, though. All in all, good times and hard times. It's been a great experience, and I'll never forget it. After 6 years, I'm still in awe of this place and the people that were here before and after me. I'm thankful for the privilege of having the position only few do, and I have enjoyed the opportunity of doing many interesting things and have made a lot of acquaintances. I've gotten to know many real well. Some I wish I had gotten to know and had more time to know better, and there are even a few that I think I know all I ever need to know about. I should put a LOL there so nobody takes that personally. My hope is that I'm leaving with the same principles and values that I came here with, and the importance of principles and values and respect were instilled in me every day of my life by my parents, and I truly believe you can make a difference in your day-to-day activities if you follow those. You know, when we first get here, our term, we put the pin on, and people start opening doors for us, and it's representative of this and representative of that, and we get invited to dinners and things, and all of a sudden we start feeling like we're a who's who, and as the saying goes, and we 6 short years later become a who's that. I do feel that Michigan and my district are better off now than they were 6 years ago, and somehow I feel I have a small part of that. So in closing, I want to paraphrase a verse in Philippians. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. Each of us should look not only to our own interests, but also to the interests of others. My very best wishes to Speaker-elect Leonard and to all the new returning members, and also the best wishes to those that are leaving this place with me. Thank you to my friends and colleagues for the wonderful opportunity to serve. We have been through a lot. We've made history together. It's been an honor and a privilege. God bless. Until we meet again.
Thank you, Representative Glardon.